the biggity back Bumble, my man. Hi guys, I'm here to talk about Buck Bumble, and I love this stupid game from the N64. It really kind of, I know, maybe reminds me a little bit of Jet Force Gemini and the fact that instead of shooting bugs, you are the bug shooting other bugs. But I remember trying to play this game as a kid and just being completely baffled by the control scheme, and it is hard to play even today. So I'm surprised that I was able to do it even back then. So Buck Bumble is a very simple setup. You basically are this bee called Buck Bumble, and all you have to do is basically fly through the level and destroy the objectives. And so basically you have an arsenal of weapons similar to, like, I don't know, Ratchet and Clank or Jet Force Gemini, and you basically fly through it and shoot down enemy insects and stuff. And so this game gets pretty difficult, partway through. And so you have things where, you have wasps that will just kind of ram you. You have other wasps that will stand in place and fire missiles at you, or, laser beams. You also have, I think the first encounter I had with them, with these giant spiders which launch these explosives at you, which are pretty intimidating. You also have these small little, I don't know what to call them, but like blue balls, which add to your score. And you also have things like, of course, ammo pickups and weapon pickups. And what's really difficult is the health pickups. So I think this is the game where you have a lot of very limited health. And so for Buck Bumble, essentially the only way to recover health is through pollen from other flowers and plants, but it hangs precariously from the flowers themselves, and it's really difficult, honestly, to actually fly into it. You can also hold B to hover in the air, but otherwise if you hold or tap the A button, you will fly forward, and it's kind of fun to shoot things as you're flying, but it's also pretty darn difficult. Again, some of the beginning weapons you get are an infinite pistol gun. You have kind of a machine pistol, laser thing. You have a kind of grenade launcher, and being able to figure out how to use each weapon and how each one works is kind of difficult. But yeah. I think I really got stuck as a kid on maybe the third or fourth level, because that was the level wherein you actually had a time limit to actually get it back to the base. And so it was focused more on flying and getting there rather than the actual, skill based on like trying to take out guys or whatnot. And so, yeah, this is a very simple game. You just go throughout each level, getting different gear, weapons, outfit. One of my favorite things about this game, honestly, is the soundtrack. I mean, the main theme everyone loves, but I really love the selection of weapons, and not just really a soundtrack, but more so the sound design, the sound when you hit one of these enemies and they go flying down, like, the classic crashing plane sound, and also just the sound effects when you hit the enemies. It has this nice metallic sound to it. The sound design of this game is honestly pretty great, but yeah. There's also a funny thing where if you land a buck on the ground, he'll start walking on it, and honestly it's probably the worst position to be in, but it's cool they programmed that in as an option. But honestly, for the most part, you're completely vulnerable, and you also can't aim well. Like, you can aim horizontally, but you can't aim vertically at all when you're basically stuck on the ground. And again, I love the soundtrack, the vibe for this game, being able to shoot down all these enemies. It sounds really cool, and it is actually pretty fun. And this is a game I would still play in modern day because it just is made very well. And it's just like a fun game to kind of, just play through and just kind of relax and chill and enjoy shooting stuff. This is like, the equivalent of like a typical, shooter game for the N64. And yeah, I love the particle effects when the bad guys explode and whatever. This is just a fun game. There's really not much else built into this game. The story is pretty non-existent. This is all, style and gameplay. And again, I like it. And yeah, it's the mission where it's not only you have to get back to the base, you also carry a bomb away from the base. And also then, carefully positioned and drop it on a checkpoint. And the aggravating thing about that is that is the only time it ever happens forever in the game. The rest of the game is just shooting stuff, trying not to die, and surviving, essentially. But yeah. My one revelation is reviewing these older games from the N64 that I grew up on is you really are kind of depending on the game to like allow you to not screw up. You know, it's very difficult, I think, for I don't know, like the game to like know when to hold your hand and when not to. Because as a kid, like, you don't understand how lives work or saving. Like, I don't even remember saving this game, but somehow I was able to save. I don't remember like how anything worked, and somehow my little like child brain was able to figure it out, interfacing with you know, the game itself. And so that maybe kind of gives me the context that these games are kind of made to be intuitive. And I think the more intuitive a game is, the more like adaptable and friendly it is to new players. So it's not exactly dumbing down the gameplay as a lot of games have been doing in the past, but it's about making it very intuitive. And yeah, I guess that's kind of my takeaway while looking at this. Anyway, I really like this game. I have a lot of, you know, good memories from it, and it's still very cool how it looks. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much this game. I'll see you guys later. Bye.